clay in itself is a mirror. It reveals where you're tense. It reveals when you're not feeling so good and when you're resistant to yourself.
You really lead yourself through your hands, the material, and then your intuition. Clay is kind of a mix of elements happening all at once. So you have your earth, you have your water that you use to soften and finesse, air, kind of like time and air will dry out your piece throughout your process of making. So it's a really interesting use of 4 elements. And the 4th is fire, so
Yes.
in the kiln you turn your clay to ceramic.
I want to learn making my own clay though one day. That's something you're ever interested in.
Making your own clay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Like unearthed from the ground and then
Yes. And she looks at the wheel and she goes, okay, before I put work into you, we have to form a relationship. And I'm not feeling good today. We both come from Earth. So I wouldn't want to put my negative energy into you, but I'm just hoping that you hear me out and work. All throughout my life, I've always been trying to find accessible, safe workspaces, especially for women of color. And Kat was one of those people that, was kind of like, why not? Yeah, it's amazing to have a lot of mentors in the community like this. You just have to find them, This literally, people's lives depend on this. People's livelihoods, people's mental health, people's connections with their ancestors depends on this. On spaces like this to access this flow state, And it's really amazing that despite Toronto's tendency to continuously gentrify, the community stays so strong. The community is always here. The community has never ever wavered, we're still fighting through this, and I hate that it's a fight because I love the city and I love the people in it, but it's just really, really hard to navigate. I don't think I wedged this clay properly. There's a lot of air bubbles in there. Might have to redo this one. But the great thing about clay is that you can just try again and re-wedge it. And recycle the clay. Always recycle the clay. I keep all of this clay water. All of it. Waste is definitely a colonial construct. Mass-produced. Okay, spaces like this help bring us back to ceremony, right? Spaces like this help abolish that notion of accumulation. Anyways, coming back to ceremony, I think relating this back to climate change, if all of us can kind of return to that mindful curation of objects and that ritual and that ceremony, then we won't feel as connected to big supply chains and purchasing things from places whatever. I don't even know where you get crate and barrel, where you get mugs from. I don't know. There's I guess not really winners, but you know what I mean? And if we can all kind of collectively shift to mindful curation of objects that we do have rituals with every day, like drinking coffee and eating. Eating is such a sacred ritual. Eating out of something, then we can help abolish these big supply chains and help bring us back to earth. And that's what spaces like this are trying to do.
And so that really relates to what you're saying, because you're talking about culture for the planet, and how you're describing it as like an indigenous person born into a colonized world with the materials that you have accessible to you. And like, we can never go back to how we were because it's just different now. And what you're saying just makes so much sense in every way.
I think that even people turning to sources like that is putting thought into the items that they use ritualistically. Even though it is technically a supply chain, it's still mindfully curating materials. So I think that what you're doing and what I'm doing exist in the same world.
I'm sure it's different for a lot of different people, but in the students that I've had within my class, once they start touching the clay in that early stage where you're just wedging, they do start to feel the tenderness of it and how soothing it is to kind of just like touch and feel something that isn't produced, like mass produced, like not a plastic, something that is flexible in its own malleable way. It's it's of its own material. And so whether it's because it's something that comes from the earth or not, I think they find grounding in being able to hold and touch and then create with it what they can. I think creation is just like a concept of just being able to make what you wanted to see holds power